Hi everybody, Matt and Paul here. Today we are talking about why it's so important to use a Gibraltar license agent when you are applying for Gibraltar residency. So Paul, I'm sure there's many reasons people can think about, but can you explain a bit why the importance of using a experienced license agent when people are looking for their residency here in Gibraltar?
Thank you for the introduction, Matt. Certainly I can. If you're considering relocating to Gibraltar, one of the most important decisions is who you take advice from. Residency and relocation is not something you can approach lightly or casually. It's a regulated process. It's governed by local legislation, by government policy and interpretation. And it's not just a question of going through an online checklist and ticking the box, because you'll find that you will not get your residency. It's far more complex than that. And more so given the fact that now we've got a treaty in place, or is being we're getting close to having a treaty ratified, and the eligibility criteria has changed. In fact, it's been evolving and changing over the past 18 months so rapidly that you could never stay up to date with the changes that the government were making. Hopefully, these are the final changes, and the new residency criteria will be set in stone. Um, but Matt, going back to point, a Gibraltar licensed residency agent is authorized locally. It works directly with the authorities. We have a lot of many hundreds, if not thousands, of applications. We have contacts within the ministries. We know how to address any issues that might flag a residency case, and more often than not, overcome any issues. Um, and and we know how more importantly, how the application is assessed in practice, not in theory. Um, and what it means for someone who approaches us is that the application is structured correctly from the very beginning. Any potential issues that may arise are identified early on, and any costly delays or refusals are preempted where possible. It also shows the advice we give is current, it's compliant, and it's aligned with Gibraltar's evolving residency framework, which is especially important for UK nationals post-Brexit. And I would also add that it's not just a question of getting a residence certificate. One has to factor in and consider that you're exiting one country to enter another country, and the tax implications that arise, and the tax positioning that we need to consider to make sure that you make the most of your relocation. So that is requires professional help, professional advice, covering a whole range of issues besides the residence certificate. For most people, Matt, this is a once in a lifetime change. So getting it wrong can cost time, money, and peace of mind. Using a Gibraltar licensed agent isn't about speed. I mean, this is where the tortoise actually beats the hare. It's about certainty, it's about protection, and it's about doing things properly from A to Z. And I think we have rightly earned a reputation for ethical and trustworthy advice that stands the test of time.
Yeah, there was a part there, Paul, and I was going to chip in, and you took the words out of my mouth. It's not just about the processing of an application. That side of it is very important because you rightly said, if you submit an application for residence in Gibraltar, there's something missing from that form and you have to return it, you return to the back of the queue again. So that side of it is very important. But it's that advice that goes around it. And you and I have had so many conversations with people, and I think what the feedback I've received previously as well, it's not only answering those questions people have, it's telling those people the things that they didn't even know they needed to. You know, if you don't know what to ask, how will you get that information? Whereas you've got people who've, such as ourselves, we've been through this process with hundreds of people before. We understand the UK side of it, the Gibraltar side, and that goes with it. So I think you made a very strong argument for the importance of that, and in the end, it's saving time, money, cost, stress, all of that in the long run.
I would add one point. It's also about telling them the things they don't want to hear, which we're very good at doing because
Yeah.
to get a residency case, we could just ignore some of the related issues which are critical for the client in the long run because we just want to process a case, and that's not what we do. That's not in line with our ethics, with the way of doing business, and we really want the best possible outcome for the client. So very often we have difficult conversations, but in, incredibly honest conversations about the do's and don'ts. I mean, how many other providers have those deep dives and those open and honest conversations about things that perhaps they'd like to hear that are different, but we are not prepared to compromise with our ethics, our integrity. And testament of that is the video testimonials we have from clients and the Trustpilot testimonials about Gibraltar residency, about our approach and how sincere and how professional we are from the beginning to the very end until everyone is, excuse the expression, bum on seats and they've got their residence certificate and they can enjoy the rest of their time in Gibraltar. And I think that's really important.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I think they say moving house is one of the most stressful things you do during your lifestyle. Moving house to a different country and all the residency and that comes under is incredibly stressful, and we're here to kind of remove that burden of stress from people. So for those who are watching this video, we've got more videos on Gibraltar residency. Please subscribe, like, share, comment on our videos.